Hello again. Welcome to Verbling. Hi there. I'm teacher Oakley. And for the next hour or so, we're going to have a conversation class. We're going to talk about body language. Um, all speaking levels and abilities are perfectly welcome to join the class. We'll be talking about body language. Maybe you'll learn a little something about body language, but it's a very relaxed conversation class, so nobody's testing you, so all levels are welcome to join. Hello again, Michael.
Hey,
Hello
teacher.
again, Heidi. Hi, Heidi. Uh-oh, Heidi.
Hello.
Oh, there you go. Okay. I
Mhm.
was worried. Maybe you had a microphone malfunction. Uh, okay, hello, Abby, as well. Welcome to the
Hello
class.
again.
All right, we're going to kind of continue with our sort of mental, psychological thinking type classes and talk about body language for this hour. Non-verbal communication. Ow, I just bit my lip. Ow. Um, I actually, this is a fascinating topic in its own right. It's really, really fascinating because for me, because I have two small children, and one is about to be 3 years old, and one is a year and a half. And it is very funny how they pick up language and especially body language. When my daughter looks at me and does this, yeah. Anyway, uh, children pick up body language very quickly. Uh, Michael, do you think you're good at reading people's body language?
Sure, I used to be, what is opposite of pro? Amateur.
Excuse
I
me.
used to be
Yeah.
amateur
Hmm.
in this thing, but when I was studying in, I think in university, I don't know, I read lots of books, so I read like books about this, I- if you, have you ever heard of Alan Pease? Alan Pease. I don't know how do you pronounce it.
It's
Alan Pease.
as we say in English, it rings a bell.
Ring a
Um,
bell. So I read his books. He has two books at least about not only first book is about body language, but second book is about body language of your speech. So basically, if you what types of words do you use, how to detect a lie, how to know what people talking about. So I read these two books at least. They are very professional. I mean, they're high quality books, not something.
maybe you could do me a favor and write his name in the chat box. It's something maybe I'd
Okay,
enjoy.
I will write because I don't know how to spell, but I will look up on the Google how is the spelling
Thanks.
correct.
I would appreciate that very much. Thank you.
And two books, those were very interesting, and also I read other books. Like I don't remember the authors of other. Maybe no.
Mhm.
Now I cannot recall. At least one as well, good book. So after that, I picked up this body language thing, and I know
Mhm.
everything. For example, if I look ugly at you, I know when you're lying. No, just kidding.
Excellent. Ah, great. Okay. All right. Just to clarify my earlier English phrase, it ring. He mentioned the author's name, and I said it rings a bell. It means it sounds familiar for some reason. I know I've heard this before. I can't remember the context. I don't remember exactly, but it sounds familiar to me. So it's an idiom. It rings a bell. All
If
right.
you are pretending to be a body language professional, you should read his books, at least two books
I
that
am
I
not.
read.
Let me first state, I am not a body language professional, but however, I do find it interesting. And I think you could learn a lot, actually.
His name and what is written on Wikipedia about his
Oh,
about
geez.
him.
I knew it was Pase, for example. I knew it rang a bell. Oh, he's Australian. Okay. All right.
15 books. I read only
Wow.
two. Oh my God, I have to
You got 13 to
catch
go.
up. Yeah, 13 books I have to read.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks. It's very. All right. I might have to check that guy out. Heidi, how about yourself? Do you think you're good at reading others' body language?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Japanese people are very quiet. We don't use body
Mm.
language so much. But I learned Italian before. Italian body language is very, say.
What do you mean, Heidi? Yeah.
So in that case,
True.
I could understand very well. Maybe
True.
Italian uses body language the most in the world.
Well, that's a very good point. Different cultures tend to use more expressive or less expressive body language. And you have pretty much nailed the the opposing poles. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. You are right about that. So, teaching Japanese students, especially low-level Japanese students, is very scary for me.
Yeah, very, not only body, and even voice is very flat, right?
Yeah, exactly correct. They have no intonation and their body language is minimal. So they're very difficult to read. I can't tell if they're enjoying the lesson or if they're going to attack me and chop my head off. I really don't know what's going on. It's nerve-wracking, frankly. Yeah. But what's fun, on the other hand, the flip side of that coin is that teaching Japanese students, when they start to get to intermediate level and they become much more expressive and they start to learn intonation and that it's okay to use some body language,
Yeah.
then it's very exciting, actually, because they kind of get into it. They kind of enjoy doing it, so it becomes a lot more enjoyable, actually.
Yeah, and even the facial expression is very good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, Heidi, I'm going to ask you a personal question. Maybe it's a young people's thing. Maybe they don't do it anymore. I don't know. But a few years ago, when I was teaching primarily university-age students, beginning of university, end of high school, university, but other ages, especially younger Japanese women, they would never show their teeth. So they would never smile. So if they laugh, they would always cover their mouth like that. Is that true?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Recently, young women show their teeth, but older women laugh in that way.
Okay. All right. Interesting. How about you, Heidi?
I'm okay, but I don't laugh so much, showing my teeth.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like that.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
Do you know how we laugh here?
No,
If it's
Michael.
really funny. Like all the sound and you get I don't know how to explain. So
do you mean like a large burst of sound?
like I don't want to make that, but if it's yeah, and you go down with your body down, and you start to with the hands like if it's really something awesome, like something funny, you can do like that. And if you're comfortable, of course, with the people that you are around, you don't put the hands on your teeth, on your lips, or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be very common for an American to like grab your stomach if something's very funny and you're laughing really hard. Yeah. Yeah, a large laugh like that with a lot of deep breath in and then a lot of sound coming out. In English, we have a word for that, onomatopoeia.
Guffaw.
It's called a guffaw.
Guffaw.
Guffaw. Laughter, loud, sudden laughter. Mm.
Because if you don't laugh like that, that implies it's not really funny what was.
Mm,
So if
right.
you laugh like that, that was terrific funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's very similar culturally to Americans, I think. Um. Arathella. Arathella. Oh, I have fun saying your name. Hi. Welcome to the class.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're either you're very shy today or your volume is very low. I'm not sure which.
It's probably because I'm not close to the microphone. Can you hear
Oh,
me now better?
better now. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks. All right, I'm going to talk to you in just a minute. I want to ask Abby first. Abby, do you think you're good at reading body language or not so good?
Sometimes, for example, with my family, yes, I can tell. But
Uh,
with other people, it depends. If I know, the person, if he's or she's close to me, I think I can tell. But
i-
otherwise, no.
Interesting. All right. If you're familiar with the person, then
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
read them a lot easier. I think that's very, very true. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Oh, good point. Okay, Arthella. Arthella. How about you? Are you good at reading body language? Can you tell what people are thinking by looking at their body language when they're lying, when they're
I don't think so. I think I tend to analyze the words uh,
mm-hmm.
and not the body language. Of course, I think sometimes I realize, but I don't pay attention to that. So I think it's when I learn something about that, for me it doesn't. I didn't realize before, so I think I'm not good at this. Of course, when people are when you meet someone and you are listening to somebody, you are watching that person too. You can understand many things from their body language, but just slight things. I think I'm not good at understanding
Mm.
or watching. Or,
Slight things. Okay, another a good English word. Subtle things. Things that are hard to see, hard to observe. We would describe them with the adjective subtle. Subtle, or to use subtle is an adjective. To use a noun that would co-locate with subtle, subtle nuances, small things, hard to see, difficult to detect, easily unnoticeable. Okay, all right. Uh, Arteli, how do you shake hands? Um, how do you shake hands? This is your palm of your hand, by the way. Palm down, palm up, side to side,
I think it's safe to say.
side to side.
Yeah.
All right. Shake hands with yourself and check. Let's
You
see.
treat your partner as equal partner.
Yeah. Okay. And well, wait a minute. Do you squeeze the hand very softly, uh, medium, or very hard?
Mm.
She's a woman, medium, I presume.
Well, you
I
never
think
know. Believe
probably
me.
softly, probably, or medium, maybe it depends.
Okay, Michael, I have met a woman who squeezed my hand like she wanted to take it off.
Oh
So
my
I
God,
you
I
can't
have never
assume.
met.
Oh, I
I
have.
have.
Scary. Scared the
Arcel sounds not like
daylights.
that. Sounds not like that.
Scared the daylights out of me. It's not normal. It's only happened to me once, but it did happen to me. It left an impression. I still remember. And it turned out later she became my manager. It wasn't a
Because I
pleasant
think
experience, really.
Did you have an affair with her?
Oh, jeez. Arcella?
no, I
Arcella?
think it's when somebody squeezes your hand like that very strongly, it gives an impression that that person is very decided and For me, it happens sometimes, and they were men all the time. And
Yeah.
yes, for me, it's not scary, but a little intimidating, maybe.
Ah,
And probably it's a bossy person, so it's not strange that she became your manager.
yes. Okay, and it's meant to be that way. You're absolutely correct to read it that way. So even that, you're reading body language.
North Korean, Kim Jong-un greet someone, right, from other countries. That case,
Yeah.
if they grab the hand, with both of hand, it's very appeared their emotion. The only meeting, the only shape, he posts only one hand.
Ah, okay. Right.
I think maybe China is the same.
Okay. That's right. Wrap one hand around the other hand. Now, it depends how you do it, actually. Uh, if you shake the person right-handed, supposedly now, I'm just relating material that I've looked at. If you put your second hand over the other two hands like this,
Yes, yes.
you're trying to be dominant. You're trying to
Yeah.
dominate the person.
I really wanted to see like that.
Well, actually, supposedly in Western thinking, it means that I am dominant. I am over you. You should subordinate. However, if you put your hand underneath, which frankly, I've seen men do this, put their hand over, and I've definitely seen more women put their hand under. If you put your hand under, it shows you're trying to be supportive and comforting. Actually, I've seen this handshake a lot at funerals. Seriously. I don't think people psychologically think I'm going to be supportive and put my hand underneath. It's just an automatic thing. But I have definitely seen that before in situations which demand support and comfort. So, okay. Interestingly, though, Araceli, the bone crusher, the squishing your hand, the really shaking hands hard, definitely can mean they are trying to dominate you, but it can also mean that they are actually insecure. All right, they're not confident, so they're overcompensating with an over-the-top hello. So you can use this as a weapon. Oh, so you're not really confident. You're overdoing it. And then I asked him, yeah.
Who'd squeeze what man would squeeze the woman hand, a woman hand? Who would do like that? I'm wondering, like.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't, but yeah.
I think it's just that they do it like this all the way, so they don't care if it's a woman or a man. They're like, when
Yeah,
they shake hands,
exactly.
they are doing quite strongly. I suppose they are not trying to damage you or something.
They're crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. You know, insecure people often are crazy. Okay. All right. And I asked about the whole handshake, palm to palm. I mentioned palms. That usually means honesty, openness, or an intention of honesty, openness, non-threatening communication. All right. The limp, the one where you just shake someone's finger, that's really not good. At least in Western culture, it's very uncomfortable. Actually, it's very uncomfortable for me when somebody shakes my hand and just shakes like two of my fingers. It's weird. I don't like it. And it shows lack of confidence. But even if I'm the one receiving the handshake, for me it's highly uncomfortable. I don't like it at all. Okay, and the other I asked about palm down or palm up. Palm up, superiority, just like putting your second hand over. So if you shake someone's hand and you extend your hand like this, you're basically telling them you want to dominate them. Interestingly enough.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What about kissing people? Because I don't know, maybe in your country is different. But in my country, something that for me sometimes it's annoying is that when you are introduced to a new person,
Uh-huh.
many times you are supposed to kiss that person on his or her cheek.
Yes,
To
I try to kiss everyone I can.
Yeah, I
I'm
think that is
kidding.
different cultures, but for
No,
me
no.
sometimes it's okay, but sometimes it's not. For example, I mean, if you are introduced to a friend, maybe it's
Uh,
okay with your friend, you are going to kiss the other person.
uh-huh.
But sometimes if you're at work or something, for me it's very violent to. Or for example, I'm a teacher, and
Uh-huh.
sometimes my students' parents are coming to have an interview with me,
Yes.
and some of them, especially women, are tend to kiss me, and for me it's very annoying. I would prefer to shake hands because
Uh-huh.
for me it seems more professional.
I
But
agree.
sometimes people do, men usually do it. They rarely try to kiss you if they are not very familiar with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not so strange if you are introduced to with your friends, or in my country it's very common that men try to kiss you
Really?
when you meet them.
Okay.
Yes, yes, it's common. But for me
Well,
it's okay if the environment is like friends, or but if
uh-huh.
it's a professional environment, for me it's violent. But some people just seem to don't be very sure of what to do, and so they are hesitating whether kissing or shaking hands, and especially
Yeah.
with women. Because with men there is no problem; they never kiss each other, so they are always going to
Ye-
do shake hands. But with women, it's very difficult. What about your country?
Okay. Well, general rule of thumb, just don't kiss anyone ever if you're a man. Women sometimes kiss other women in familiar situations. Professional situations, just never. Uh, just don't do that. That's American. Here, I now live in the Philippines. Okay, so it's a little different. Men never kiss men, and under any circumstances, either in America or here in the Philippines. Sometimes I've had coworkers or colleagues, women who I haven't seen in a while, for whatever reason. Oh, we were, I don't know, different parts of the company for 6 months, or who knows. I've occasionally gotten the air kiss, if you know what that is. The cheek near each, her cheek near my cheek, and we do the mwah thing. In which case, the lips, neither person's lips touches anybody. Um, the weird air kiss. Even weirder is the double air kiss. Mwah, mwah. I don't know what that is, frankly, and I would like to
I
discourage you from doing that.
I
Uh,
think that people do that because they don't feel very confident, so they are supposed to kiss, but they are not really doing it. It's like they pretend kissing.
yeah, it's weird. It's weird. And to be perfectly honest, even though I'm a man and I should say, "Oh, a beautiful young lady gives me the air kiss or gives me a kiss in public as a greeting," I should love it, but I don't. I find it very uncomfortable, actually. I'm very self-conscious, and I'm not a self-conscious person normally. I'm not. But when that happens, I suddenly feel like everyone's looking at me, and oh my God. So it's not comfortable for me either, as the
Mm.
recipient of said air kiss.
We
Mm,
do this kind of kiss in my country.
really?
It's funny, but that's what we used to do.
Yeah. Is it men, women, women, or men, women, or men, men? In some countries, that's men, men do that. thing?
Yes, in my country it's men and women, and women and men, their relatives. For example, my family,
Ah,
my brothers, my dad, and for example, my uncles.
right. Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah, here they for family there's a totally other different thing which is sort of not okay. It's called you get in the Philippines, and I talked to some Indonesian students apparently in Indonesia as well, where the younger person, and you'll see this in public at the mall or on the street, a younger person like a niece or a nephew or grandchild will see an aunt, uncle, grandparent, and they'll take their hand like this and put it to the top of their head like this and say bless, like you're asking for their blessing. Um, Very
Yes, we do
common.
something similar, but it's
Ah,
not kissing the hands. We kiss like if it's my grandmother or my dad or my mom, something is someone who is older, who is old. We kiss his head. That's,
ah,
show kind of respect to the older people.
interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Abby, if you ever go to Thailand, please refrain from this activity. People from Thailand hate it when you touch their head. Don't touch a child's head and mess his hair up. Oh, he's so cute. Don't do that in Thailand. And whatever you do, don't
Okay.
kiss someone's head. They'll they'll hit you or slap you or something. You got to be careful of these things, right? Excuse me. Ken. Ken, welcome to the class.
Yes,
Ken.
hello.
Hi, Ken. We're talking about body language, but I can't resist the opportunity to ask you, have you ever been kissed
Uh-huh.
as a greeting?
Never.
Never. Capital N.
Yeah, as far as I know. Maybe, for my niece and nephews, when I was a small
Uh,
baby, maybe I kissed sometimes. But
mm-hmm.
if after that they grew up, I never ever kissed, as a greeting. It's,
I have a weird question for you.
mm,
Maybe I'm getting astray from body language a little bit. Not
mhm,
really. It's related. When you're a kid, uh, especially a little kid, then you get
mhm,
too old. Oh, you don't want to do that anymore. But when you're a little, small, very small child,
mhm,
this is normal for Americans, and I do it with my kids. We we give each other a kiss. Good night.
mhm,
Good night.
mhm,
Good night. Tuck them into bed.
mhm.
Is that normal? A
It's
kiss
not
goodnight
common here.
in
Not
Japan? No.
common. Even among family members, we don't kiss.
Usually,
Yeah,
yeah.
and don't hug, not so often.
Oh,
So
okay.
sometimes I feel kiss is somewhat embarrassing for me, but hugging is good.
Hugging
Sometimes
is good.
we need to show
Uh,
more intimacy, yeah, especially for someone who close.
okay.
But
Or,
yeah, maybe our culture code maybe
okay.
hinder to be like that.
Okay.
Uh,
Intimacy. You pronounce word
Intimacy, yeah,
intimacy. Syllable stress
yeah.
was a little off. Yeah, I'll remember that. Note to self. I'm gonna make myself a note. Ken, someday when I meet you in person, I'm gonna give you a big hug.
Uh,
Yeah.
yes,
Yes, indeed. I promise. Uh, okay, I have a word to share with you. Let's get more on track with
Mhm.
the body language thing. And for the whole class, synchrony. What on earth does that mean? Can anyone take a guess? Synchrony.
To do
Any
things at the
idea?
same time.
Hey, very good. Yes. Synchronous is the adjective, which means two things that happen at the same time. Um, comes from chronos. Time is the root word. Yeah. Uh, Chronos. Getting very weird here, but Chronos was one of the Titans actually, and I can't remember, Greek or Roman mythology. Anyway, synchrony, doing things at the same time. This is a very interesting aspect of body language. This can be very good if you're, for example, on a date. This is good. All right. Synchrony means you're both doing the same thing. One person puts their leg up on their other leg, and the other person does it too. Body. Okay, here's a weird one, Michael. Being that we're manly men, you and me.
What? What did you say?
Being that we are manly men.
So what's that?
Manly men, we're very masculine. We have deep voices and big biceps.
Okay.
We're men's men. All right. Is it a weird thing for a man in your country to put one leg over the other? I can't. Ow! Break my finger.
On the other?
Yeah, one leg over the other, one knee on top of the other knee. Does that seem like a weird thing for men to do, or is that perfectly normal?
Well, depends. It's not weird. Let's say in this way, it's not weird. And I would let me think if I would put like that. Yeah, I would put a leg on the leg, but not so. I don't know if I wait somewhere. You are tired to wait. Like maybe you wait in an office or somewhere. So you put like that, or you put like. There is another one position. It's a dominant position, like one leg on another, but in another way. Do you know that?
With the ankle on top of the knee?
I wish I knew what is ankle and what is.
Okay, well, knee's in the middle of your leg, and the ankle attaches your foot to your leg. It's your ankle.
So 1 second. Yeah. With the I looked up what is ankle. So with the ankle on your knee, correct.
Okay.
This is better position. So I put like that and like that, but not because I want to demonstrate something or to my body language, but because my legs are tired. I mean, when you sit down for 20 minutes, about sit down, I either. Stand up and go like around a little bit, or I put my legs, like I move my legs some, because it's really boring. But when you are speaking with someone, of course I would not put my ankle on my knee when I speak with like a person that that is not my friend. If with my friend it's okay, but with a stranger not, and I would not put.
Right. Now, okay, you've done a little bit of studying body language. I'm asking you because I don't know, but just my own personal experience, putting your ankle on your knee seems a little bit like a dominating posture. Is it?
Yeah, that's dominating. When the two people are speaking with each other, if you put like that, you're considering yourself like a better than that person with who you're speaking. You're considering yourself like on a higher hierarchy or what?
Yeah, okay, a hierarchy. That's
and also, if you put your not legs but your hands behind your head. Can you demonstrate that? Okay.
Like this?
Yeah, you consider the smartest one in that. If you are with a group of people and if you put, you're considering yourself the leader in the class.
This is how I'll be teaching all my classes from now on.
Hello, no, that's a bad position. People feel insulted with that. Like that.
I like it. I can do this. Hello, students. Welcome to Verbling. All right, very good.
A dominant position as well.
All right, well, thanks for teaching me that. That's great. Yeah, I asked because the whole knee over the knee thing, for Americans, it's considered a little effeminate. Do you know effeminate?
Okay. Like only women. I presume only women can do like that.
Yeah. Although I'll be honest with you, I do it all the time because it's comfortable for me, and I don't really care. I'm perfectly confident and in my own sexuality. I don't really care. Um,
No, it's okay, I think.
it's comfortable for me, and I'll do it. I don't care. But I definitely there are many men, particularly Americans. I can't speak for others, who would definitely say would never do this. They would be embarrassed to put one knee on top of the other knee. They just won't do it. I swear to you. Just a cultural thing.
How about folding your arms in front of you?
Putting your arms in front of you. Well, how?
Folding your arms, both of arms.
Folding your arms in front of you like this.
Yeah.
Ah, very closed position.
You don't like what's going on there in that room.
Yes, very good. Very, very basic body language. Closing yourself up, folding your legs, closing your arms, tucking your chin down. You know, you're closing yourself off from the environment. So it's very, very negative. Whereas stretching out, putting your arms, behind the chair, stretching your arms out, opening your legs means you're a pervert. No, it means you're open to the situation. Yes.
If you read like Alan Pease books,
yeah,
you will find there like I remember of by heart. I remember. So when you are folding your arms,
yes,
when you see a person that folding your arms, you could assume that he's closed to something, but you should always think in context. You should look if it's not cold there. If it's cold, so people would do that too. So look always on the signs in context. Don't assume just because he put the hands like that or like that, that's a bad person. Look in context.
In Japan, holding arms in front of you is very bad. Particularly lower level person shouldn't do in front of both of us.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Ah, interesting. Oh, okay, all right. See, okay, and I would add to Mr. P's. Think about it in context. Maybe it's cold or hot, or maybe there's actual physical reasons. The person, but also obviously body language has a lot to do with culture. So, yeah, definitely. So, more importantly, you have to think about culture. All right. Heidi, how about folding? I'm interested about this. By the way, thanks, Aerosol, for the wonderful pictures of the men with their crossed legs. I especially enjoy Obama over here, hiding himself. Yeah, there's definitely something going on in some of these pictures. Very funny. Okay, Heidi, is it okay? Crossed arms, no good. You don't want to do that. How about crossed legs?
Legs, public place is no good.
What's that?
In the public place, or for example, interview.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't cross your legs on an interview either, myself, or your arms, as a matter of fact. It's hard to know what to do in an interview. The most important thing, I think, is posture, which I need to work on. Definitely, there's a couple things. In a job interview, there's some things that are going to be very important. Your posture, when I say posture, basically when your mother yells at you, sit up straight, she's worried about your posture.
Like being relaxed.
Yeah. See, this is very difficult in a job interview because erect and straight back, it shows confidence, but maybe shows domineering, a little dominant. Whereas more slouched, if your back is all bent and you don't want to completely slouch in the job interview. Put your feet up on the guy's desk, Yeah, hi, how you doing? Fold your arms.
I'm from Texas.
Texas. How y'all doing? I'm here for the job that you're going to give me.
You're going to give me.
Right. Can
So
be.
let's sign the papers and let's begin right now. I'm going to be your boss.
Okay. All right. Yes, being slouched or slumped is another way to say it. Can show insecurity. It can show guilt, actually. Especially leaning forward. It can show guilt, like prisoners or a person in court. If they're leaning forward with their shoulders kind of in, they're probably guilty, and they're admitting it. They just don't know they're admitting it. Of course, very, very important for Westerners, eye contact. This can be very confusing because
I
clearly,
wonder about eye contact. In that case, we should look at your nose a little down from your eyes.
well, that's interesting. That's a tactic that would work most of the time, I would think. Um,
Yeah, if I look
excuse me.
into your eyes or fixed to your eyes, how do you think?
Yeah, see, just staring deeply into another person's eyes, it can be a bit romantic, you know.
But usually we shouldn't see the eyes.
Yeah, well, in a job interview, for example, I would definitely very much side to side, shake hands firmly but not too strong, and I would definitely look the person in the eye, smile a little, look directly into their eyes but not stare into their eyes. Hello, Mr. Interviewer.
There is a rule of thumb that you should look 70% of the time in the eyes, 30% you should look around.
I like that.
Alan Pease. That's
very logical.
You see, I remember everything what I read.
That formula works for me. That sounds like very, very logical to me. Yeah. So not constantly staring into one another's eyes, because of course that's what lovers do, and you're talking to an interviewer, you're not on a date. So yeah, that seems about right to me. And it's okay to look, look in their nose or above their eye. Look in their eyes. That's perfectly fine. Of course, in many cultures, it's appropriate to look down and never look eye to eye with your boss. But please, if you're in a job interview in a Western company, you should definitely look eye to eye. If you do look down, even though maybe that's your cultural norm, it makes you look like you're guilty or ashamed or you have no confidence.
Or you're hiding something.
Or you're hiding something. Even better. So this is a very, very bad thing to do in a job interview because, of course, this is your first impression. It's going to make a very big impression. It would be very difficult for you to overcome that. Pretty much you're done.
But for example, you have done something bad for your wife, then wife scolds you. In that case, you should look at my eyes.
Okay, well, Heidi brings up a very good point. There may be times when it is completely appropriate to look down instead of look someone in the eye. Yes. For example, you have been caught red-handed with your hands in the cookie jar, as we say. You've been caught with your hands in the cookie jar. All right, so there's no denying it. Yes, it would be very appropriate to not look eye to eye, because now looking at someone in the eye is going to seem like you're being very aggressively hostile. Yeah, not going to accept your punishment. You're absolutely correct. So other times it may be important to not give eye contact. Now, I mentioned dates. Okay, let's see if I can do this. This is one I'm not good at. Abby, when a woman does this, when a woman takes her hair with her palm out and moves her hair back. What do you think
Yes.
that means? When a woman
Maybe
goes like this and moves her hair behind her ear.
maybe she's telling someone beside her to look at another one, but she doesn't want to look. They do not want to look both at it.
Well, let me rephrase my question. Actually, supposedly that's a form of flirting. All right. When a woman's talking and then puts her hair behind her, looks down, puts her hair behind her ear, she's interested, supposedly. Openness and interest can mean, okay, all you men out there, don't get excited. All right. Also, maybe it's because her hair is in her eyes. Maybe it's as simple as that. Uh, Abby, how else do women flirt with men, but not speaking body language? There are other
Um,
ways? Tell us your secrets.
I don't know.
You know. All right. Um,
Maybe eye contact. I don't know.
eye contact. You know, classic in the movies. You must have seen this. The whole batting the eyelashes. Do you know what I mean, Abby? Batting your eyelashes.
No.
Okay, I need to write this down because we use this in an idiomatic way. Uh, I'm writing it. Whoops, hang on a second. Batting your eyelashes, to bat your eyelashes when you do this thing here. Well, hello, Abby. How are you?
Yes, I understand now.
Yeah, okay. To blink really fast. Okay. Classically, this is a woman flirtation move to show that she's interested in a man, to the point where if a man does not, it would be very common for a man to say, "Don't bash your eyelashes at me." Because the woman wants something from the man, she'll try to manipulate him by batting her eyelashes or flirting a little bit to get him
Okay.
to do what she wants. So a very she may not necessarily do that physical maneuver, or she might, but it would be very common for a man to express idiomatically, "Don't don't bat your eyelashes at me. Oh, you can't influence me like that."
Yeah, a woman find handsome guy a little far table. She looked that guy. If she got to know she's looking to him, then he looked at her. He turned her eye another way. Then she looked at the guy again.
Mm-hmm.
He repeated the same thing.
Okay, and every time he looks at her, she looks away.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the man think, oh, she's interested in me.
Right. Okay, that's true. That's another definitely non-verbal communication across the room. Okay. Uh, okay. Um, okay. Araceli, let's practical body language, one-on-one, verbal and non-verbal communications. On a date, let's talk about flirting on a date. Let's see what you know about men. Does a man talk more or less if he's interested?
If he's interested, maybe he will talk less because I think they prefer to watch and to look than to express. I don't know. Depends on the people, of course.
Let's see what the men think. Do men talk more or less when they're interested in a woman?
more.
Michael?
If he is really interested, really likes that woman, really, not I'm not telling average or below the average, but really, he would try to speak more, and he would make mistakes while he's speaking. He would be uncomfortable, like he would look around. He would be like a little bit weird. If he really, really likes that woman, she's wonderful, for example. But if no, it's like average, he would talk like, "Hey, baby, do you like me?" Hey, because she
Okay.
doesn't give a good impression, like that. And he's comfortable with her.
All right. Now, see that, ladies? All the men agree, and you're all correct, and I agree with them. Men speak more the more interested they are.
So the problem is not that they don't like to speak. It's just they don't like to speak to me, as I can see.
That's right.
I thought it was because my husband says I don't like to speak so much. So maybe the problem is of me.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. Time out here. I don't think this dynamic functions when you're married anymore.
Yeah, you know
I
something.
I think these body language things can just be thrown out the window. You know, if my wife is doing this to me, oh honey, blah 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 blah, flicking her hair, I'm gonna go, what the hell's wrong with you? What's wrong with your hair?
What happened? Stop it!
I'm not gonna say, oh, you want to get romantic. I'm just gonna say, what's wrong with your hair today? You know.
Yes, I think it's
Yeah.
different when people are getting to know each other.
You
It's
know.
really different.
Yeah. We assume that we're not making any nonverbal communications because we're gonna say it if we mean it. Okay. Also, the other thing, first dates, eye contact, very important. If there's no eye contact, there's no second date. Basically, that's it. I think that's very true, definitely, from my personal experience. Um, how about this one? Ken, do you open doors for women?
Yeah, kind of. Traditionally, we don't do that actually.
Okay.
So, but maybe for lovers, yeah, for happy woman, maybe I heard we should do that.
Okay.
Especially in America or Western cultures, it's considered very polite and they
Yeah.
take care of women. Yeah.
Yes, an American guy should open the taxi door, open a door, a car door, open a
Not
door to a
only
restaurant.
such kind of romantic situation, but also the usual situation.
That's
American
true.
people tend to keep door, someone who behind, but
Uh-huh.
Japanese people usually don't do that.
Yeah.
Probably so after that I thought about that. Probably door. We living in sliding doors culture before, so maybe we
Interesting.
still got accustomed with door culture. Maybe that's why this kind of difference appears in
Interesting.
these two societies.
Very interesting. Yeah, that was one of my culture shocks, one of my many, many culture shocks
Hmm.
living in the Philippines. People don't know how to deal with doors, and it
Hmm.
drives me crazy. People
Hmm.
are always stopping in the middle of a doorway to have a conversation, in a public
Hmm.
doorway. It's like,
Hmm.
hello, people in and out every 3 seconds. Why would you stop here to start texting somebody? Hello, do you need me to push you? No American would ever stop in a doorway in a public building, ever. That's
Hmm.
unthinkable. That's like going to the bathroom in the middle of the floor. It's ridiculous. I see it happen all the time here, every day. It drives me crazy. You see it all the time. Very strange thing. Um, yeah, opening doors also okay. I mean, that's not nearly. But holding the door when you go through the door, hold the door for the next
Hmm.
person. That's
Yeah.
yeah. You're right. That's for American. That's common courtesy. Whether it's a man, a woman, a child, a
Hmm. Yes.
grandmother, a police officer, whoever it is,
Hmm.
doesn't
Maybe
matter who it is.
it's for safe for especially small kids or
Yeah, well, that's true too. There could be, in fact, safety concerns. Okay. Ken, on a first date, would you ever touch a woman? Where would
I
you
don't
touch
know.
her?
It's up to the mood. It's up to I'm not sure.
Okay. A clear signal, and I think this is a clear signal. I agree with this one. Is if a man guides a woman through a door or to her seat by touching her lower back, just a light touch, maybe her elbow and her touching her back above the waist, not grabbing her butt, but touching her back and gently guiding her. I definitely think that is a big sign that the guy is very interested, for sure. I agree with that. It's actually something I cognate. Should I touch her back? Should I not? Okay.
I think it's a hard question because for a woman, for me at least, if the guy interests me, it's nice that he touches me. But if that person doesn't interest me, for me it's uncomfortable. That very little contact. So there are men who usually touch me and they are not familiar to me, and I don't like it. They just behave like that. They put their arms around you or something, and I don't like that. They are not. It's not a sexual behavior. I think it's like more like fathers or like that, like paternal behavior. But I don't like it.
Just
but
too
if
familiar.
If I am interested in someone, I definitely like that person makes some kind of contact. It's like contact.
Well, that's a very good point. And above all, that is the guiding principle here. You have to know the customs. And, you know, the whole touching, feeling, especially men and women, personally, I would say if you're not completely confident doing it, then don't do it. But, of course, that could be horrible advice. Because maybe a guy is completely confident. Or the other way around, you know. I don't know. You definitely have to know your limits. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. We've actually come to the end of our class time. So thank you, everyone. This is
Thank you very much.
a lot of fun to talk about. And hopefully I'll be seeing you guys again real soon here on Verbal.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.